All right, and we're live. Hello, everyone. Good evening, and a warm welcome to everyone watching at MESC Red Devils NCR. This is Delvin, and today I'm joined with Ojas Bhai, Avijit Bhai, and Abhishar Bhai with me on the stream. Hello, gentlemen. Another day and another day where we are all smiles because of last night's result, and we are safely through to the fifth round of the FA Cup. The Den Haag juggernaut keeps rolling in cup competitions so far, as we can see, and always good yesterday, a convincing 3-1 win. And it's been a long time saying this, but routine wins seem to be looking like routine wins nowadays. We don't have to sweat, we don't have to push hard. We establish a cushion and then we are in cruise control for majority of the game, which is evident in the way that all our main players are getting 20 to 25 minutes of rest in these cup competition games. Ojas bhai, speaking about last night's game, of course, what were your first thoughts in the game? Uh, could the game have gone any better according as far as you are concerned? And what are your takeaways from the game?
Yeah, I think we were dominating for from the go, but there were some few moments in the first half where I believe that there were chances for Reading to score. Otherwise, I believe that we played very well to counter the minnow side, I should say, that is Reading. There were very close chances, a very tough call to the Rashford goal that got cancelled from VAR. Overall, we were the better team, yes, of course, because we have the resources. But on the slightly better front, the midfield, whatever the midfield contributed, I expected that contribution from the attacking side of our team. That is my only opinion about the game. That I think our forward line should have been on the score sheet also, because it was a team. It wasn't a team that was defending like something very good that our forward line couldn't penetrate. It was about converting the chances, and I'm glad that Fred and Casemiro did that, and Casemiro with a very good goal. But really expected a forward line on the score sheet yesterday.
So speaking about that dodgy Rashford decision, Abhijit bhai, let's come to that. I mean, uh, that decision is just another indication of United not getting decisions at all this season. It's been a recurring theme overall. Uh, Ever since a certain yellow tooth Scouse manager spoke about us getting penalties left, right, and center. After that, we've just not got calls our way. I mean, if you look at that goal, a similar goal was given when Liverpool were playing, but when it comes to us, we don't get these calls. I mean, even Rashford himself pointed out on his Twitter that this is the third such instance where a fully legitimate goal has been ruled out. What are your thoughts on what do you think that the goal should have stood first? And second is, are you really surprised at this now that United not getting decisions from referees?
I think that goal was, it should have been standard because that was little minor. I would say not okay. We that gap was not bigger. Okay, it was just a minor thing, minor I think thing for us. But we should have, that goal should have stood. We know that we are unlucky in that sense, but it's okay. But it should have been done because it also would have boosted his confidence, Rashford, because he has scored would have scored to 10th, I think 11th goal, I think, if I'm not wrong, in Old Trafford, if I'm
Eh,
wrong.
it's 10 only.
Okay,
It's equal. It's equal.
okay, so it would be a 10th goal, and it had really, boosted his confidence, and it would be a good run for him. But unfortunately, uh, things doesn't go in some way, and we have to, accept that, pressure, and we have to go and contribute to a team. But it's okay that we didn't, that goal didn't stand. But I think, even I think Brighton and uh, United have also confronted to PGM Hall for that. I think some goals, and even for the for that horrific injury, tackle done in that both the games. So there needs to be, referee is refereeing in the Premier League and even in the cup competition have been below par in this season, and I think there is a room of improvement for the referees, but I don't why I don't know. United are always unlucky side in that matter, and I think as Eric Ten Hag said, that we should not depend on that in that scenarios, or in that situation, that we that referee should give us something decision that favors us and we score. But we as a player, we as a team, or we as a player, as a fan, we have to understand that we also should support think that the player should also be at that point, that we need to contribute in ourselves, not to depend on that some situation, and we get advantages and we score the goal.
I mean,
Delvin
it's
bhai,
not.
Delvin bhai,
Yeah,
I think what Abhijit bhai is saying, it was a very diplomatic answer from ETH of saying that we should not depend on it. But
yeah,
because
exactly. But I don't think there is a
if you
certain point up to
uh,
which where we have to depend on our
yes,
play. But
yes,
then
and
after a certain point, you cannot just say that this is
yes,
plain bad luck. It's clearly obvious that a pattern is emerging, that we are not getting the decisions that we should be getting.
Well,
Even the Ericsson challenge, for example, due to which he got injured, that was at least a yellow card, if not a red. I did not understand why he wasn't penalized for that. Uh, I mean, there are certain instances where Ten Hag is right that we should not
uh,
be dependent.
Dylan, was just sorry to cut you, but I just wanted to know that by that time was Carroll already on yellow?
Uh,
Yes.
yes, he was on a yellow.
Okay.
That should
Okay.
have been a second yellow at
So
least. It
for
should be a
clear second yellow, then maybe you could say that sending off a
no,
player is
no,
this.
Abhishar
No,
bhai,
no,
it
no,
was a
no, no, no,
very
sorry.
horrific tackle. It
It
was
was
a
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the back.
it was
He
horrific
hasn't
from
got
the
the
angle,
ball.
from the angle which it has been like made available to us from
No, his
referee
slide,
end. If you
his
see,
his
it
he,
was not that. I'm not
but
saying, I'm not
he was
justifying.
nowhere. No, he was no. I understand and not justifying it, but he was nowhere near the ball. Also,
Yeah,
he's come from the back. He's come lunging in. Yellow cards have been given for worse challenges.
yeah,
Means
yeah, yeah. We
that
understand.
much
that
I'm not
much.
saying if it would have been first yellow, that is for sure yellow. I'm saying
no, Abhishar
for
by
second
intention
yellow,
also is looked. Intention, that intention was to break the player. That
Yes,
intention was
and
to
yes, yes.
just
and it
damage.
is. And that foul on Ericsson wasn't the only one. The reading players were given specific instructions to target certain players. Ericsson was just one of them. There were certain challenges on Casemiro also,
Yes.
Yeah, for
and
which
the
he
intention.
actually got sent off.
Even
Yeah,
on Rashford.
Abhishar, yes, Abhishar bhai, you remember in the first half there was a challenge with Casemiro in the penalty box of Reading. It was a challenge, and it was not consult. I don't know what happened
It
there, but
was clear penalty. That was on
it
his
was
standing leg
very
that
close,
it has been made. He
very
could
close.
not. He cannot shoot it if you are, hampering the standing leg. Okay, if it is onto shooting leg, maybe there is dicey something this or that. But if you are challenging on standing leg, there is no way player gonna shoot it.
Then
that is
even
what.
even before the game, I think City versus Arsenal, Saka was also given offside in the same scenario. He was
See,
just
I don't care about any other
no,
teams.
no.
Whatever the
I
decision
was just
is,
pointing out that refereeing is below par because of that.
it has.
Small moments
But
that
you've seen, if you see throughout the course of the season, it is us who have not gotten the majority of the calls. And I'm not even talking from a United bias point of view. It is there for everyone to see. For everyone who's talking about that Bruno goal, there are so many instances where decision should have gone in the favor. The Newcastle penalty, then you can say this penalty, the penalty at Palace, the Newcastle goal, in fact, where Ronaldo scored, that should have been given. Rashford's goal against Everton, Rashford's goal against, I think, Wolves also, and then this
The
goal.
penalty
Just
that Chelsea got, that Chelsea
exactly,
penalty was pretty
yes,
soft.
yeah. Uh, I mean, then the McTominay penalty also, the Crystal Palace one, where we should have got it. That one as well. So many instances we should have gotten these calls, but we haven't. So I don't know what's going to happen, but it's about time that maybe Ten Hag comes out and speaks a little. If he gets a
Not sure,
fine, that's
maybe
fine.
Delvin, that Ten Hag been outspoken upon like we should not be dependent upon referee's decision. We should be closing game on our own. That is like more than fan. It was for players. Like he want to pump up the players that I trust you guys. Like you guys gonna do it better in
It
that
was
way.
a diplomatic answer. It
Yeah,
was a
that
completely
is
diplomatic answer. He is checking out the first season. As soon as he gets the hang of the English game, he's going to just counter it with every press conference he has, because it is a blatant, I should say blatant bad
It's,
refereeing
it's this is
overall.
not this is not refereeing. This is Satanism. The way you can say.
and actually,
How
in between season when you see World Cup, I'm not saying for anything, but you see, global standard of refereeing. Like for World Cup, you see multiple countries have a referee that would be, refereeing the game. Then you see that okay, the English refereeing has been substandard. On top of it, I wanted to add this thing, the added time perspective. In World Cup, we have seen okay that if some team is wasting time, referee is gonna punish them for that. But in English EPL, it's like 3 minutes, like 3 minutes. It doesn't matter.
Vishal bhai,
I
there is
don't
lot of
buy.
things involved in the English game that the referee has to answer to a separate panel. But in international stage, FIFA is the authority that you answer to. So the standard is maintained overall in the tournament. But right now, what is happening currently in Premier League and overall football that is going on in England, that the referees are not being held accountable for the mistakes that are happening. They are not being questioned by why you are taking these decisions. There was a very good tweet about this. Why are referees not being questioned, interviewed, that why did you call this, whatever? It is just to protect the integrity of the game according to the English media, but it is just covering up the mistakes that the referee have done
It's not
overall in
even
the.
not even mistakes. It's just covering the gross incompetence shown by the referees, not mistakes. This is just a plain incompetence at the moment. The likes of Anthony Taylor and the other guys. I don't want to even name the other guys, but at this point, they're just a bunch of clowns. There was a time where refereeing standards in England were one of the highest, but now it is sunk to absolute lows. Like it's just a joke at this point, the refereeing in all competitions. But uh, we have to move on. Avishar bhai, speaking about United once again, this is the 11th or the 12th straight game where United have won at Old Trafford. The only time that United have lost at Old Trafford this season was the first game of the Premier League, which was against Brighton. Since then, United have not lost at home. Is it safe to say that Old Trafford is once again become a fortress, or do you think there's still some way to go as far as the fortress list is concerned? Because you can now, there is a genuine sense of palpable excitement in and around the atmosphere at Old Trafford, something which was not visible in the past 2 years, or maybe last year when fans came back into the stadium because of performances and all that. A lot of records were broken, which were on the wrong side of things over
Yeah,
the past few years. But this year, that fear factor is slowly and steadily coming back. It's not well and truly back, but you could see signs there. So, do you believe that Old Trafford is already a fortress, or do you think there's some way to go until it's very sure that we are virtually unbeatable at Old Trafford again?
I think it's it's quite visible for everyone that we are playing good collectively, and we are playing better at home. So this is the thing, the calmness that you see, like usually it's not harakiri. It will be calmness in the field when we would be playing at the Old Trafford. Fans are also knowing that okay, that we are getting into that vibe, that creating playing at OT was never easy for any away team. It was never easy, if you remove 4 5 years or 6 years of last 4 5 6 years, apart from that, it was never easy. Teams were scared that even on added time, the added time will come, and United gonna win it was so much scared out of that thing. So that is actually good, and that has to do with how good players we have brought onto those who have confidence on the ball. Be it Casemiro, be it Varane, be it Martinez, these players have confidence on the ball. Like if you are having a ball, then it'll be good in United part. Previously, it was not the case. If the ball would have been with McTominay, I'm so sorry to say this, but yeah, with McTominay or Fred or Maguire, so there was a sense of, even Maguire is pretty good ball carrying center back, but yeah, there was a sense that we might lose the ball. And when you have this sense now that okay, at any instance you're gonna lose the ball, then the panic kicks in that okay, you are not in position, your midfield and your forwards are up front, and all of a sudden you lose the ball, then team hits you on counter attack, then there is not confidence onto it. Now at least teams are like United is knowing as a whole team that okay, if there is ball, there is very good chance that we will retain it. So that is what giving players the confidence, and how we are imbibing, getting better as a squad at Old Trafford. And this will only get improving. This is not
Yeah,
going to stop. This will only get better.
totally, totally agreed with the fact. You spoke about Maguire being a good ball carrying defender, but the big problem is that he has no recovery pace if he loses the ball, which makes it a double-edged sword. The fact that he can carry the ball well, but if at all he ends up losing it, there's no recovery.
And not
McTominay
only
has,
not only him, but if he passes to someone and even they lose it, then also he is so upfront that he cannot recover it with his pace.
yes,
At least.
yeah,
That
and then
we have.
the less said about McTominay, the better. And overall, yeah, the positivity is there for everyone to see. You can see the players growing in confidence with the home crowd also fully behind the back of the players. Uh, Ojas bhai, what did you make of Maguire's performance last night? I think it was another game where he played the whole 90. Uh, what did you make of Maguire's performance? Did you think it was as good as it gets, considering the opponents that were there in front of him? Do you think he did a great job, or do you think there were still some aspects where he looked dodgy and there is still more work to be done as far as Maguire is concerned? Because Eric Ten Hag did speak a lot about Maguire before the game. Uh, he spoke about it was not his intention to make Maguire the fifth choice centre back, which he's portrayed to be, but he says that Maguire knows that this is part and parcel of the sport, and he is doing good in training. It is up to him to show that he is well worth his weight in gold as far as that starting place is concerned for the centre back position. Maguire also spoke about it, that this is a scenario where he does not see himself, but it is what it is, and he will put in the hard yards as far as the winning back the starting spot is concerned. So, what did you make of Maguire's performance last night? And do you think there is any chance where you see him getting a sustained run of games as the starting centre back?
Yeah, overall a very decent performance by Harry Maguire of whatever he had in the front of him. It was a very disciplined performance. It was a well controlled performance. I don't know how we conceded that goal, but we are Manchester United. We always find a way to score. Uh, Kushagra doesn't agree with me, but overall, I think it was a decent performance. It looked very disciplined, and he did best what he could do best. That is just whatever he has the capability of. He did that best. Right now, I don't think so. Maguire has the capability to have a sustained run of games because he's not the type of centre back that Eric Ten Hag is looking for in his first 11. He's a centre back with very limited abilities, and Eric Ten Hag usually likes to play centre backs with having abilities to just not carry the ball, but also just coming back at the right moment to recover it also. One of the reasons that Twitter is also divided on that is because of the scenario of Van Bissaka, except a very good challenge to Zaha. If you see Van Bissaka games, there are a lot of moments in the game where he loses the ball and just isn't on time to come back for it. Yes, Bissaka's tackle against Zaha was world class, but we have to follow other games also. So Eric Ten Hag is still divided on Bissaka's future. So similar is with Maguire. The abilities that Maguire has are very limited to what ETH is looking for, and this is just English media making the noises. They're just pressurizing Eric Ten Hag in every press conference that why aren't you playing Maguire? Why aren't you doing this? Uh, Seriously, if any manager with the right approach thinks that Maguire deserves a run over Varane and Lisandro Martinez, I don't think so. He's a manager to be recognized for. Eric Ten Hag knows who's his best defenders are. He's playing with them. I just pray that Varane and Lisandro stay fit, because I respect Maguire. He's our club captain, but really he doesn't fit the system anymore.
And
Fair enough.
for,
Fair
for
enough.
for that fact, Maguire will flourish under back three system. He will be doing good if there would be center backs covering his lack of mobility. Maybe you can say, then he will flourish. I'm not questioning abilities. Like, we collectively, we are not questioning abilities of Maguire, but he is not suited for our system. The ability to move the ball, and being in a version where you can cover up the recoveries, those are needed, which we could see that those are not currently in Maguire. Maybe if he would improve, like with Eric Ten Hag, all the players have improved. So we might see Maguire being better, but with current form and his ability, he's not starting over.
Uh,
I'm not. I
Abhishar
would
Bhai is
rather
on transfer list. Abhishar Bhai is on the transfer list for
Yeah.
Manchester United. It's happening some way or another. Maguire, because Maguire agent is also clearly negotiating with Manchester United whether the player has a future in the club or not.
Yeah,
So
like
he's
if you'll see me that between Maguire or Lindelof, I'll keep Lindelof.
yes,
With
he
less
Maguire
noise and with
Maguire
way
is on
more
the transfer
game
list. Maguire
intelligence.
is on.
That is good thing for Lindelof. Like, my third center back would be Lindelof for sure.
Another another area where I feel about Maguire is I feel Maguire is best when it's a tournament situation. Uh, because over there, I feel that he rises up much to the occasion because of the simple fact that uh, it suits to his strengths, because you do not see a lot of mobility in England's system when it comes to Maguire as a centre defender. You have the likes of Shaw doing it for him. You have the likes of John Stones doing it for him. So that question doesn't arise. He automatically becomes an undisputed leader over there. So for me, Maguire as a tournament defender, very, very, very good. And it's time and again proven with his performances in an England shirt. But for some reason or the other, it just doesn't cut it out with United at the moment. So it could be, like Ojasbhai said, it could be a case of when, not if, Maguire is shown the door from the club. Uh,
And having said that, Delvin, I'm hearing very good shout about Timber as well. If you get this guy, he could play the center back role as well as the uh, right back role. So which will be perfect fit for us. He'll be like Shaw, but with the other side of the pitch.
I
So
have I have another defender who could do the same job for us, and that's Maxence Lacroix. He's from the Bundesliga, but he's much more refined as far as that role is concerned. He
No,
also plays multiple roles, and he's one of the highly rated centre backs along with Guardiola and Tapsoba over there.
yes, but our scouting system is really not that deep. I recognize the player you're talking about. I recognize,
Yes,
but our
yes, yes.
scouting team is not that deep. And what Abhishek bhai, the problem with the Timber deal is right now is when the deal had to happen, when the funds were ready, the deal was about to go through, it collapsed because of certain Louis Van Gaal, and now it is very tough to repeat the system, because we have got midfielders and striker lining up in the summer, so we need a centre back only, and if we get the money from Maguire deal.
No.
Skriniar
I'm
was a
not
very
saying a
good
center
shout.
back as just center back, but we need someone at right back as well. So we would be, if we would get a player which could, like, if his presence could make us readily sell out Maguire and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I'm
No,
not
no, no.
saying that
No, no,
if
no, no,
we
no.
could
Eric,
sell.
No, 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 no.
Eric Ten Hag.
Abhishar bhai, what you're looking for in a player, if you're selling Van Bissaka, you need a right back, and that is the end of the debate. You need a right back
Or
when you sell Van Bissaka.
or very unpopular opinion from me. What if Aaron Wan-Bissaka is played as centre back?
Better.
We
No,
dis-
no,
we have discussed this,
But
Delvin.
that
Yes, exactly.
that will not
Make
work out.
make
I,
his
I,
make his biggest weakness as right back, his biggest strength, the fact that he's one-dimensional,
Delvin by
makes his,
Eric Ten
becomes his
Eh,
biggest strength.
worked so hard, Delvin. I want to just bring up, if you will see the Wan Bissaka that has arrived from Crystal Palace, he was I don't know, he had potential to be good with ball going up front, but we have developed him in such a way that rather than defensively, he goes up front and he takes the ball, he carry on the balls and create those, like in the opposite corner side of that final third. And if you know put that much into development of a player, and then you realize that okay, you need not to do this, then you are spoiling a player.
But Abhishek bhai, yesterday Van Bissaka and Anthony were on fire. They were
Yeah,
much
I am,
much
I am, I am going to fight
first half.
anyone, and I am going to.
that is never
No,
a
no,
conversation, that is
no,
never
no.
a conversation of him being better offensively. That was never a conversation. Okay, if he is doing anything, that is getting better only. But thing is that he's not getting better defensively. He's
yeah.
still dependent
Uh-huh.
upon those tackles,
Nahin,
which is what impacting.
Avishar bhai, the question he's putting up now of a centre back position. I don't know. He has some agenda with Van Bissaka as a centre back. That is very good, but really, I think so. When you convert a player into centre back, you have to look the positioning sense of the player also. And I think Van Bissaka is very good at grabbing the moment, grabbing the right moment. But that positioning set, he conceded that header that the player
So yeah,
Nketiah,
Nketiah, yeah.
yeah,
So
and miracles happen, but I don't see Van Bissaka being a centre
I
back.
think his only issue at the centre back position is that spatial awareness issue. But I think that is something which can be coached gradually if you
It will.
if you give him it will take time, no doubt. But Van Bissaka has all the tools required to be a centre back. You need what? You need tough tackling. He has enough recovery pace, which Maguire doesn't have. His game awareness. I'm not talking about his spatial awareness. I'm talking about his game awareness is also on point. So he at least has 70 to 80% of the qualities that are required to become a proper centre back. And the
This-
fact that his tackles are not penalties. I think there is in his tackles he's conceded only one penalty way back in 2019, which was against Watford. That was the only penalty which is conceded because of a mistimed tackle in the past 4 years as a United player.
Delvin bhai, if he gains the confidence in his aerial ability, he can
Exactly.
play as that
Yes,
position.
yes.
But
Like
right
did-
now, what
yes.
is the trend is? Right now, what is the trend is? You follow football for very long. Right backs are usually your left backs like Alaba and right backs like Kimmich when they come. Kimmich also used to play few games as centre back for Bayern Munich. I remember that season. What usually player transforms into is the central position. What when there is a transfer like Leimer, the Bayern Munich are going to sign Konrad Leimer. He's a very good CDM and he can play right back also.
Yes.
So these are the certain players how we transform into. I agree with you that there are only few aspects that Van Bissaka has to develop into, but if whatever I see of him, like Delo, he's not a master of heading the ball, but he's really confident that I will be able to do it. I'm ready to do it for the team. And Van Bissaka is something like aerial is, yes, maybe I can do, but on the ground he is very good. But he has to develop that aerial ability if he has to come into the central position, which Shaw has done very good in past 3 seasons. Shaw has done his
Totally
ready to
agree.
come in.
Totally agree.
And I just want to ask anyone on this centre back role that Premier League is happening, if someone can put their head like Lisandro Martinez does for the team, that is a different level of commitment.
To a certain extent, maybe Thiago Silva, but he has been playing since decades
Yes.
now. So I think in the
Yes.
Premier League, apart from Martinez, the only centre back who I see jumping and putting his body across the line is Thiago Silva. No doubts about it. That man is an absolute.
central half.
Yes, exactly. And with all due respect, I consider Thiago Silva as one of the finest centre backs of our generation. In spite of the fact that he plays for Chelsea, he's 39. He is 39. Let's get that in our heads. And he's still one of the best players for Chelsea
He
this
still
season.
starts over, around 4-5 centre backs that world class. I'm not saying
Exactly.
If you
Yeah,
see Koulibaly,
exactly.
he's world class.
Yes.
If you see Badeshel, he's world class. If you see Fofana, he'll be
No,
like
Badiashile not world class yet, but
No, no, no.
he's promising. He's promising.
Promising.
Yeah,
Potential would be
potential.
over there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
To
what I
the,
Even
Potential.
to the point, Thiago Silva, one of the best centre backs in the league. To the
Yes,
point,
correct.
even
straight to it,
Yes.
even
and we can learn a lot from it. His contributions to Chelsea.
Yes, and
even
like Didier McGuinness speaks about the fact that Wan-Bissaka doesn't head the ball. Yes, that is one of the areas where he's currently lacking in. But then, uh, you might think that I'm totally defending Wan-Bissaka, and yes, I am. But I have seen that his game doesn't require that much of heading. He doesn't
that is
get in.
that
That
is the
is
same case, Delvin. That is the case with Lindelof as well. Lindelof's
yes,
aerial presence is very like I should not say poor, but pretty average. So if you'll see Lindelof's aerial presence, or the ability to head those balls or clear those balls, that is not of world class center back standard. But his overall game knowledge and ball knowledge and making those passes, those are pretty good. Those are pretty good.
he commits very early.
yeah. So what I was talking about Wan-Bissaka is, I think he's very well aware of the fact that he's not very proficient in the air, which is why what he does is he makes sure that all the battles that are against him are on the ground. He doesn't get into situations which require aerial involvement in the first place. I think that is a compliment which I can pay to Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but to each their own opinion. But I personally believe my boy Aaron Wan-Bissaka is putting in a great season. Last season, all the talk was around his progressive output with the ball, the fact that he doesn't go forward with the ball, the fact that he doesn't cross the ball too often. You can see in these 13-14 games that he's played in a stretch, his progressive abilities have improved. He's not underconfident with the ball anymore, but he's still not fully confident. There is still some way to get there, and his crossing ability has increased, as you could see in last night's game as well. He put in a couple of very delicious balls in the dangerous areas of the box.
Yes.
It's just that the players didn't get on time on that ball.
Mm.
It would have been 2 goals. It was 2 more goals.
Yes.
The crosses were so good. But moving on from Wan-Bissaka, let's talk about Ten Hag's mentality in cup competitions. Abhishek bhai, I'll continue the topic with you only. So you've seen now we are basically 1 foot in the door as far as the Carabao Cup final is concerned. We are now in the 5th round of the FA Cup. In both the competitions, you can see one recurring theme, that in both the competitions, Ten Hag has played something that resembles his full strength team in both competitions. It's almost the same. It's almost the same 11 that plays in the Premier League. Now there are two sides of the story. One is that we are crippled as far as squad depth is concerned, which is the general consensus in and around the fan base.
Yeah.
The second one, which not a lot of people are talking about, is, do you think Ten Hag has sights on both the domestic competitions? Because I think at this point he knows that the FA Cup is anyone's game. Two of the big sides of the Premier League are out of it. That's Arsenal and Liverpool have been knocked out of the cup. And
Chelsea as well, I believe.
even Chelsea have been. Yes, Chelsea lost to City. Newcastle also. So yeah, not a lot of top quality Premier League teams left apart from City and Spurs. But in all fairness, they are Spurs. But do you think that Ten Hag wants to win both cup competitions? Because like Kushagra says in the chat as well, Ten Hag has said that his aim is to win titles and we are here to win trophies. So do you think that the fact that Ten Hag is playing his strongest levels is finally a club showing the right respect for these competitions? Because you can see that over the past few years, the significance of both these cup competitions have reduced drastically in the top tier of English football. That is, you can see all the teams putting in second string 11s as far as the FA Cup and the Carabao is concerned. And then you have the likes of Erik Ten Hag, who day in, day out in this competition has put out his strongest team or something
And
that
Pep
resembles
Guardiola.
his strong.
If you
I
want
think,
a
yeah,
for a manager
yeah,
who puts,
yes.
our best player is Pep Guardiola.
But then City's side is full of top players. It's not like ours where we have only a strong 11 and then nothing apart from that. So do you think that Ten Hag is in his mind like, yes, we want to win both come the end of the season?
So first, coming to the cities point, I'll cover each of it, in my point. So first, coming to the cities point, yeah, they have a squad, where if you do not want to start Kevin De Bruyne, maybe you can put Gundogan in, maybe you could put Bernardo Silva in that creative role. And if you don't want to start Grealish, you can have Foden over there. And then if you do not want to start different players, if you do not want to start Walker, then you can have Akanji or Cancelo starting as right back. They have player of that potential. So now the thing comes that they have and we don't. If you will, if you even imagine, I cannot imagine this squad doing any good if you could bench Bruno Fernandes as well as Casemiro. So these two players are unbenchable. Same that will go on with Rashford as well. Okay, you cannot rotate them. The only thing that works along with you is that can you replace Varane? Can you replace maybe Ericsson? Can you replace this guy Martinez? Can you replace in fact David De Gea as well? So then you see that the second player or the backup player, it is like daylight between them. If you will bench Ericsson, who you gonna start? Maybe Fred or McTominay. There is daylight between their performance. If you're gonna bench Varane, who you gonna start? There is Maguire. Then again there is daylight between their performance. So in that case, that one thing, maybe it could impact our performance and might result in extra game. Now going for the third point which you have mentioned about winning the cups or winning the trophies, how it collectively helps. Now it will bring the mentality to the players. Like we have seen, okay, we have been into the team, like we went to semifinals, we went to quarterfinals. It's not that we have been irrelevant, okay, it's not, we just did not get the silverware, but it was not that we were irrelevant or we were pushovers. There have been team has to work hard to beat United, be it at any competition, be it at anything. They have to put their sweat and blood out there. So that's what it has been doing. And when it will, how it will imbibe is that when, Rashfords, Brunos, and they will be getting, medals with United. Medals I'm saying is a silverware. I'm not saying for the silver medals. I'm saying for the trophies, when they will get, it will already, get them to the next level. Like what they say now, that's what Pep's team has been doing. They want to go at all front because they know that, okay, winning silverware is important. Though their fans do not appreciate it much, though the fewer number of them exist, they do not appreciate it much. But if you have a squad which will be winning titles or which will be winning trophies, it will only get them better. You see Arsenal squad, they have won FA Cup 2 years back, but those were the kids that who are thriving now. They were not that good when they won the FA Cup. Those kids were okay, but they are next level now. So that's what happens, when you have a squad who has potential, when they, feel the silverware or trophies, and then they there is only way they can get only better. You might need few signings here or there, but they'll only get better.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a very well balanced and holistic approach that we need to take from here on, and I think it will augur well as far as the mentality of the players is concerned. That there is a manager who wants to win, equally as far as this is concerned. Yeah, Ojas bhai.
Kelvin, you said a point na, that why are teams putting the second string on FA Cups? Because the prize money involved in these cups are very less, and if you finish in top 10 or even in top 12 of Premier League, you're paid a very good
No,
amount.
but I'm not talking about as far as the monetary side is concerned. I mean, the FA Cup is the oldest cup competition in all of world football, not just English
Yes,
football.
yes,
So
but
I
the
think
economics are, yes, the economics are such,
You
Delvin,
could,
by economics are
just
such that
you could say on to that for the monetary. You're saying monetary benefits, that is altogether different. But you know how any cup or any trophy helps a squad, a fan, a whole atmosphere of a club is I think that is beyond. Like if you'll finish 10th, nobody will know. But if you'll win FA Cup, like Leicester, if you'll see their past 4 5 years, like what they have done, you could only see that they have won FA Cup. I'm not. I guess League Cup or FA Cup they have won. They've beat
Wait.
Chelsea.
FA Cup, FA Cup,
FA Cup
FA
only.
Cup.
They've beaten
This
Chelsea.
one thing, the economics of football has changed in past 3-4 years. Now, even before that, now what is happening is Premier League is prioritized so much that it is important to be retained into the Premier League because of the TV rights, and it is very important to finish in a very solid position to get good prize money. So that is
But
why I think somehow. And what are FA
Oh
Cups and
yes,
League Cups
if
useful
you'll
for?
see now, if you'll see the monetary benefit of the side, if you'll just, I'm not saying the winning prize, I'm saying about the TV rights and all. If you see the squad which has finished second and the squad which or the team which has finished second and team which has finished 16th, they'll have very minor chunk of difference in their these TV
Yes,
rights.
that
That is
even
not
that
even
huge.
even in 5 years we have not won any silverwares. Last time we won this was in 2017, and it is 2023. That is 6 years we have now still won. Last year, Liverpool won two trophies, but they were on the verge of treble. But that boosted their confidence. That we are that
Yeah, they
means the
it
confidence.
boosted their
Even
confidence so much
even
that they're
Leicester,
10th right now.
huh,
It boosted their confidence so much that they're 10th right now. What the idea of this cup competition is, it is to bring teams from every level of English football to participate at a stage where the the people watch the game. And it is a very good addition to the trophy cabinet of every club in the Manchester United, or whether it's Arsenal or whether it's Liverpool. But we have to recognize the main road is the Premier League, and the main road for the lower clubs is to be retained into the Premier League, because ultimately it is the biggest competition, it is the biggest football competition in the world, and it involves a lot of money. And I respect both the cup competitions, but truth to be told, no one will discuss who won the FA Cup in 2017 or 18. But if you're relegated, yeah, are you in the Premier League this season? Are you not in the Premier League this season? This also matters a lot. So right now,
eh,
look at the situation of Everton. Look at the situation of Everton. Look at the situation of Southampton, one of the very good teams of English football. What are they placed right now? So priorities have to be set. And again, even if Manchester United win the both cups, we all want Manchester United to win bigger things, because that is the ultimate football.
and
All right.
even
Sorry.
we
Yeah,
win.
go on, Abhijit bhai, go on.
No, even we win, even if we have the opportunity to win these trophies, no, then it will actually change the mentality of the players. Actually, this kind of now only I think three or four teams are capable to win the FA Cup. That is, I think, Brighton, City, United, and I think if not
Spurs.
Spurs. Okay, we don't take him in that scenario, but we can't say that when Conte is someone that who can change in that clutch moments. Okay, but if we have the opportunity, and Ten Hag is pushing for the trophies, then why not we? If we are capable, see, we with this thin squad we have came up to, I think we are in the fourth position. If we add some players, then we can go past the line. And why can't we back our team? That why can't we back ourselves, as a fan, or even as a player? We can expect that yes, we have a right coach, we have right players, and we can go for the trophies. This should be the mentality. And I totally agree with it, Ten Hag, that with the thin squad we can do something. We have to trust ourselves and trust to every fan that is expecting. And
Yeah.
it's not crime that we are going for a trophies, and we should only focus for only two silverwares or only one silver. That okay, we are basa bhi enough. This is only that we can take on now. No, we if we want that winning mentality again back in, we want that eras to come again, then we should think about all the trophies that we have the opportunity to regain back.
Correct. Totally agree with you, Abhijit bhai. However, now let's get back to United. So while the win was good, it didn't. It came with its set of complications, and that is a Christian Eriksen-sized problem that the squad currently faces. Christian Eriksen was a victim of a challenge from Andy Carroll, who, frankly, I am surprised that he's still playing. Should have been retired a long time ago, but here we are. And he was spotted leaving Old Trafford in crutches. Now we don't know the prognosis of the.
Andy Carroll started looking like wrestler and started playing like one.
Exactly. Uh, uh, right now, the prognosis of Ericsson's injury is pretty unclear. Uh, but uh, but seeing a crutch on a player's leg is never a good sign in the first place. But so that leaves a huge problem in an already existing problem. We know that we do not have the best of squad depth. Ericsson's absence is another blow to us. And with the schedule that we have now, we have the Carabao Cup second leg. We have a double game week in which we play Crystal Palace and Leeds. And then we have the arguably one of the biggest games of our season, where we play Barcelona in the first leg of the Europa playoff. And then we play Newcastle in the Premier League. So this is a very, very tricky and complicated run of fixtures that we face. We are arguably down with the beating heart of our midfield, that's Ericsson. Abhijit bhai, how big of a loss is Christian Eriksen, especially at this juncture of the season, where we have just entered the phase of our most busiest fixture calendar in the season, and we are already one midfielder short. What do you make of Christian Eriksen's absence?
Firstly, I hope that that injury is not a big blow for us. But whatever seems that coming on the crutches is really seem horrible to see that. What Ericsson provides us is that it gives liberty to Bruno to surface in the attack, and that literally gives one advantage that we have an extra player in the attack, that which makes the spaces that for the attack, give the assist through balls, everything that when Ericsson is deep back with Casemiro. So if Ericsson with Ericsson, you can expect that if he was not injured, if this setback was not there, then we have a two number eight actually, who can pass, give the long balls, you can through passes, he can sense that spaces that where we can take the advantages and score the goals. So looking at that setback, it's really important for us to sign someone in on a loan for a 6 months. And I think Eric Ten Hag will give a shot for a one midfielder who who is versatile, like Ericsson. And I do hope that we sign a center midfielder for us.
Rightly said, Abhijit bhai. So Ojas bhai, now while it was initially the idea was floated around that United were in the market for a midfield player in the last few days, Ericsson's injury will basically make it sure that United have to enter the market for a midfielder, even though if it is for a short-term solution. Like Amit Bhai says on stream, we need squad depth for sure. Also because of the fact that Ten Hag does not seem to trust his fringe players a lot. Rishit Singhal also says that Fred, Ericsson, and Casemiro are the only three centre midfielders that we have, which we can use for two positions. Not the best of depth. For some reason, he seems to remove McTominay, and I agree with his assessment of keeping McTominay out of this. With Ericsson injured, Donny as well, Rishit rightly says that we have to look out for a loan signing as far as the centre midfield position is concerned. Uh, so, what are your thoughts? We have only 2 days left in the market. That's tomorrow and day after, 31st. Do you think that it is entirely plausible to see United get a stopgap midfielder for the remainder of the season? Considering that we can only do loan deals at this point in time, do you think that this automatically makes sure that United will have to enter the market?
Well, you said it right. Even before Ericsson's injury, I think Manchester United were looking for an option in the midfield. But it is very important right now because both players having the same type of, I should say, roles in the team. That is Donny van de Beek and Ericsson are injured, and we don't know the extent of injury of Ericsson. And again, I pray that it's not for long. You cannot find another Ericsson in the market, but you can surely find a player who can just be comfortable around Bruno to do the connecting passing well. because that is what Eriksen does. Bruno takes the risk, and Eriksen does the basic things right. That type of a player is very hard to find, and on the loan, I don't have any idea right now whether any midfield option is available on loan in the market of that quality that ETH is looking. I really don't have a clue about that, but it is very important that we do get a clue of that very quick, because 48 hours are not sufficient to just look for a midfielder, then start negotiating with the club. Whether it's a loan deal, then the club will push that you have to get the obligation. We don't have the owners to get the obligation to buy. Everything involves, there is a mess around the transfer system right now, because everything involved is that the teams around us are just getting along with the deals. They're just doing it. They have the money, we don't have the money. The midfield option looks really a ruckus right now. Only if we have a good relation that we have, like we did Vegas deal really well. If we have good relations with any club, we should just get the right player out of them as a loan and negotiate well. Otherwise, it looks a very slim possibility of getting the quality that ETS requires in the second half of the season.
So, Ojas, sorry, Delvin, just a
Yeah,
one.
yeah, go ahead. Please. No problem.
I think that should United test waters with Yuri Telemans been available free of contract next day, so maybe they could, give it a shot that okay, 10-12 million, let's just test Leicester, because
So you are the
not.
so the problem with Tielemans is that he's in his last year of the contract, which means that he can talk to clubs about joining in a free transfer in the summer.
Yeah, that's
That
what
still
I
that still
understand. Okay,
yeah, that
and
still
it was
doesn't
the point that
rectify, yeah.
he's having. I want. I was saying that if United could test waters with Leicester, they would anyway. In six.
Abishar Bhai is saying like a Sanchez deal. Sanchez was in the last 6 months of his contract with
Yes.
Arsenal, and we exchanged Mkhitaryan with that was a
Correct.
deal that we completed. See, Abishar Bhai, if Tielemans was the
No,
target of
first
Manchester.
thing, Ojas, I want you to cover as Tillemans as overall how he will, integrate into our squad and what he will bring into us. Maybe it will take 5-10 minutes of your time. And second thing, is this deal possible on business point of view? So both aspect I want you to cover.
Uh, de- uh, I think so. We have 15-20 million of budget left, and that has to be used for the other funds of the club also. Really don't think that we have the financial capability of signing Telemans for 10 million or more. It would have been a very good deal if there was a certain financing by certain people sitting on the top. Because 10 million, if we have good negotiation, 10 million is really enough for a player who is on the last 6 months of his contract. The deal can be done, but if Telemans type of player, he's a player who fits in the system so well with Leicester, that we consider him to be a very good player, when that he can come into any team and just light it up. What will happen right now if you give him a contract of 4 to 5 years and it doesn't gel up with uh, Eric Ten Hag, because Eric Ten Hag will agree with the player on the such short notice, but what if it doesn't gel up? So right now he understands the situation, he understands whatever the scouting is involved with the player, and I don't think right now, even on the financial side and even on the capability of the players, the quality the player has, whether the Eric Ten Hag wants it. I want him. I like Tielemans a lot, but I am not the manager of Manchester United. Eric Ten Hag is,
But that
and
that'll give you a time period of maybe just say 6, 7, 8 months, and then whole break between the season to get into a process where you could say that okay, is it going to work out? And there is market always open for him. If you want to sell him, maybe in 1 year time, if you see that he's not doing good, then okay, 10-12 millions, you could make up for
uh,
that.
yes, Abhishek bhai, on free Telemans is a very good option. But I
Okay.
don't want to use, if I have 20 rupees in my pocket, I don't want to use 10 rupees on someone and just, because it will, uh, we are in such a situation, even spending 10 million on something will create a
No,
financial
I
burden
was
on the.
saying that with Tillemans in squad, okay, that will help us with the stretch that we are
Of
going
course,
into
he's a world
for
class player.
that
He's a
role.
world class player, but again, the system involved with the Manchester United and the financial crunch, whatever it is, I really, I
Yuri,
don't
Yuri
believe that there is
Tillemans is linked to Arsenal actually. Abhishek bhai.
Guys, if they get Caicedo, they'll not go for Tillemans. That's for sure.
No,
And
Kaiso.
Caicedo is a box to box player,
Hmm.
which is a similar role to what Tielemans plays. Caicedo has age on his side, and he is more in line with Arsenal's structure than Tielemans is. They've already bought in Trossard, who fulfills a similar role, not only because he can play through the wings, he can play through the center as well. So I think Arsenal plugs that gap. Arsenal also have Fabio Vieira, who has not played a lot. So I don't see Tielemans going to Arsenal if they
even
get the Caicedo deal.
even Telvin brother, Tillemans as a free agent is much better than paying any bucks for him right now, because even you start negotiating with any English club, you start negotiating with any
But
English club right
just the
now.
point is, I'm not saying that he free is not good, and putting 10-12 millions for him now is not good. But with our current crisis and what he will bring into table, I'm saying you weigh those things. Now, I'm not saying that okay, you are weighing that thing, but if that could be in such a point that it will cost us top four, or having him
Yes,
in
agree,
squad
agree.
can make us elevate us to some point.
Here's
I know
so
Arsenal
here's yeah,
think
Avishar bhai, here's the thing. If United had anywhere between 50 to 60 million in the bank, we would have definitely gone for Tielemans. Definitely gone for Tielemans, even if it would have cost anywhere between 10 to 15. But the fact that, like Ojas bhai said, our financials are in dire straits at the moment. It's basically काली चाय में पार्ले जी डुबो के हम खा रहे हैं. That is our financial situation basically. So even if we want to make a deal for say 10 to 12 millions for Tielemans at this point in time, it's not possible because of the financials. That's it.
Okay, so
If
would you guys take Tillemans as only signing for this window if he would be available for
on
10?
a loan, yes, and then when his contract expires in the
Yes.
summer, then we are free to negotiate with him as a free transfer
Yes,
automatically.
and Abhishar bhai, if you are following ETH system for past 6 months, a player like Enzo Fernandez and Frankie De Jong suits much better than Tillemans.
Tillemans.
That is
But
why I was
again,
saying.
they'll be like in 100 million range,
Yeah,
Yes,
right?
and
exactly.
no, FDC will be negotiated between 60 to 70. We have already agreed a deal with Barca. We have already agreed a deal with Barca. It was between 60 to 70. Add-ons going to 80. So FDJ was done. He didn't want to come. That is his choice. Enzo has a release clause, and Benfica is delaying his release. Enzo is not going this January. So these are the two kind of players that I think ETH will require. And
With not just as stopgap, but overall what he adds to squad. Maybe that will give you a window to release Mexas or Fred.
He's not exactly the most hardworking of the players, if I say Abhishar Bhai.
Okay,
yes,
okay,
So
okay.
even Ericsson,
Yes.
with his limited movement, also puts in effort on the defensive side of things. You can see him putting in those sneaky fouls or at least tracking back. But for Tielemans, his defensive work rate has always been a question, even in Leicester. And while in Leicester there was NDD to cover for it, so it was not exactly seen. But as you know, the NDD has been injured for most of the times, and Leicester do not have a proper midfield anchor like a Casemiro or a Partey in Arsenal. So Tielemans' defensive vulnerabilities be exposed,
Exposes. Yeah.
which is why he's not in that much of a demand that he should be.
Okay.
The player is talented, he's outrageously skillful, but there's one issue, and even Eric Ten Hag wants defensive work rate in his system.
Then on
So
free transfer, I'll rather take Kante.
exactly. But another interesting option which I can put forward is currently not getting a lot of game time in the club that he's playing. He's very well versed with Ten Hag's system, and he knows the workings of that system, and that is Gravenberg. And that is Gravenberg. He's not got the game time in Bayern, which is why he wasn't picked up in the World Cup squad. Uh, I think it could be the perfect opportunity to explore a short-term loan. Only because of the fact that he's totally familiar with Ten Hag's system.
uh,
He knows
uh,
how Ten Hag ball works.
Delvin brother, Oliver Kahn in one of the interviews was very clear that he won't allow a player to leave right now from the club. and I admire the player a lot. But if the CEO of he's the CEO, right? He's the CEO of Bayern
I
Munich.
think he is. Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah, and he is very clear cut because and it's very sad because he's a very good player and he could have got the opportunity here.
Should
But
he give?
And we just don't want us in Anthony scenario, paying overboard and overpaying for any
No,
player.
for Gravenberg, we can only explore a loan because the
yes,
thing is that he's not got playing time at all. I mean,
yes,
he's an outrageously talented player, and the fact that he wasn't in the World Cup squad was only because that he did not get any playing time in Bayern. That is the only reason, and even he said it himself.
he
The fact that I did not play is the
they have
reason why.
Musiala, no? They have
They have
Musiala, right?
Musiala. Yes, yes, they do have Musiala. But Musiala plays more of a winger. So Gravenberg is a player who fits the profile what Tolisso used to do for Bayern.
Yes.
So that is Gravenberg's profile. Another player, another interesting point is our February fixture list. Now, fixtures keep on coming. How important it is to go and approach our February fixture because there are a mix of seemingly easy fixtures. I'm saying seemingly because no Premier League fixture is easy, and there are heavyweight fixtures also. Sorry for calling the Liverpool game a heavyweight fixture, but it is what it is. Then we have the likes of Brentford. We do have both the legs. We have a Newcastle game, very crucial fixtures. How important it was that the likes of Shaw, who was rested for the Reading game, the likes of Rashford, and Casemiro, all these players who got good amount of rest in the FA Cup, and for all intents and purposes, I do not see them starting the second leg of the Carabao Cup semi. How important do you think is giving that amount of rest to our key players is now? I mean, it was always a matter of importance, but now with the Eriksen injury, keeping these players fit and healthy becomes paramount in our quest to go further in the season. So, how important it is? Do you think that these guys will be rested? Because I have seen that Ten Hag isn't very open to rotating players. This is something that even Ole never used to do. Ole also never used to rotate his players. So, do you think that these guys will start the second leg, or do you think they will get limited amount of minutes just to keep them fresh for the upcoming rigors of the Premier League as well as the key Barca fixture, which is there as well? Ojas, I'll ask you this question.
Okay. Oh. Uh, I think Eric Ten Hag has a policy right now in his first season that he wants to settle his first 11. So I agree that he's not rotating much and it is giving Ole vibes. I understand the position of Eric Ten Hag when you have, um a very good first 11 and a very poor backup options on the bench. This will happen in a season like this. As soon as we recover in the transfer market of in the summer and we get the required additions, I will see Eric Ten Hag pulling the players here and there and just creating opportunity for the players on the bench to have a contribution in the cup games or
Our
in the
youth system players as well, yeah.
yeah,
Giving
youth
them
system
chance.
players. There will be a transformation from a very poor bench to I think a very decent bench in the summer also. So right now I don't question ETH. If you don't have the players, you cannot rotate, and the players have to agree on it. Players have to be ready for it. That we have to put in 90 minutes every week, even 180 minutes for some players like Bruno. That we have to put in these minutes because our team requires it. And for the fact that we have very important games, I agree with you. No Premier League game is easy, but we have to understand the February game involves the game against Barca also. And if I think Leeds, I think we are playing Leeds consecutively. I saw the fixture. We are playing Leeds consecutively, and those are two very important games also. And the second leg that is happening, it is the only vacation time available for the first 11. It is the only time available for vacation for the first 11, and even then also I see Lisandro Martinez starting in the second leg. I don't know why. I just see him starting.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, there is not a lot of gap between the Leeds games. So yeah. Another interesting fact is Jadon Sancho. It looks like finally we will be getting to see Sancho in action, maybe in the Nottingham game, or most latest he will be involved in some capacity in the Palace game, as what I feel. Abhijit bhai, how important it would be to have Sancho back in the fold, especially at a time where we are running short on depth in the squad.
Very important, I would say. I think he will provide some competition for Anthony, and we'll get two right wingers that who are competing for the same position. And what Sancho brings is he is good on in the attacks where there are small spaces you can say, or you can say he's good in ball carrying, where only we have only Anthony Martial who is good at ball carrying. He's the two players in United. There are only two players, that is Sancho and Martial. So that really gives us boost that if he's good in shape, he can be a good. He can play in multiple roles. He can be play as a left winger, right winger, even as a number 10.
Yeah.
So you can expect a good good something good opportunities from Sancho's, and he is very crucial for us because looking at the picture, they are very congested pictures, and we need some depth in that. Now we are seeing that Rashford, whenever he makes runs or whenever he's getting tired after 60 minutes. So on the time we know Garnacho can come and give some time for that, but at the right wing we don't have that option. We have to depend on only on Pelistri or Bruno Fernandes, but we miss Sancho. So we need Sancho in that purpose. He is really crucial player, and I do believe that with the 3 months, the recovery with mental, physically, he will be coming with a strong back. Even I don't know your observation, but guys, but I have seen that he has reduced some weight, and he's little slim and trim, and looks fresh and yes, even in the physical matters, he has improved, and he looks little fresh in his in his faces. So he will be a vital for in the February and even for the Barcelona fixture.
Totally agreed. We're very eagerly looking forward to seeing Jadon Sancho back in United colours and hope that he has a great
Yeah.
remainder of the season.
What
Abhish-
sorry, yeah, Delvin.
yeah. Abhishar bhai, another important bit of thing going on is that interest for Anthony Elanga. So Fabrizio Romano has said that at least 10 clubs have come in and asked Elanga's availability as far as United's point of view is concerned. Few of these clubs are PSV, Dortmund, and some other clubs to say the least. My question to you is, at this juncture, keeping in mind that the limited amount of squad depth that we have also, but also because of the fact that Elanga is nothing but running as far as his game time is concerned. Do you think would this be the right time to send him out on loan or perhaps even a permanent deal at this point in time? Do you keep Elanga considering the hard season that you're going to have further down the line? Or do you think that this could be the right time to maybe cash in?
So that depends upon how much we are going to get. There are, like, for us, if we would have had money. Okay, I'm not talking about current scenario, but if we would have had money, we would have gone bigger for striker as well as center back. Having said that, we would get availability. So there are teams in these situations where they would be looking for forward, and they would be ready to pay good. I want United to make Dortmund cry, like what they did for to us for Sancho, and then maybe decide that, okay, we would not be selling it to you. That's also fine with me. But yeah, with Elanga's time, I think with the rise of Garnacho and Pelistri as well now, okay, both these players. And having said that, as Abhijit has covered previously for Sancho, if Sancho would be as I'm so sorry. The Sancho of peak, what we have seen him in at Dortmund, if he would coming, I do not see Langa starting any game from here to end of season. let alone starting, maybe getting minutes from bench as well. You'd be having the right wing of Sancho and Anthony. He's not getting time over there. You'd be having left wing of uh, Rashford and Garnacho. You are not getting time over there. Bruno is machine. Touchwood. I would not. I don't want to jinx him, but he's machine. He's not getting. He's not giving you time as well. So then you'd rather from here to end of season, maybe you will get a complete of 100 minutes, 150 minutes in that. So if we could get something that will fix us for the game time that we will get, I love to send him on the loan, and how he improves onto that with the regular confidence of coach, and his game time, how he's getting, and then I might weigh my options in summer window. So this is what I see for Elanga's situation. But for current situation, I'm not seeing him starting or even getting that 30-minute or 35 minutes cameo from bench as well.
Yeah, even I agree as far as his game time is concerned. He's going to be used as
Otherwise,
a last ditch option. He's going to be used as a last ditch option which you can use for 10-15 minutes.
I just wanted to say something.
No, I just wanted to say this from Abhijit by answer only. There was a time in Dortmund also when there were injuries to Marco Reus, who have we linked with again. But there was time when Sancho used to shift centrally and just help out the midfielders that they had. And with injury to Eriksen, I although want Sancho on the flanks, but he can help. I'm saying he cannot be a player there, but he can help surely. He can help Bruno. He can help Casemiro. And if God knows what will happen in the window for the next 2 days, if the club is not supporting Erik ten Hag, this can be one of the options. I'm not saying that you have to do it straight away, but he can certainly help the midfielders if he can just come into the center, just behind the striker, just helping Bruno there doing the dirty work. I think so there is a chance, but we really need a midfielder. That was the main topic of it.
Yes, because Sancho is a versatile player, and we are forgetting that he's a system player also. I mean, he fits in a system where Ten Hag believes that he is a good player. The way we are promoting Kobe Mino for that purpose only, because he is the player he can contribute as in both in a deep as well, and as well as in a number 8 position. So but he lacks the game time, so it's very risky to play in some very important games. So in that situation we can use Sancho as number 8, because he has played there and he has contributed much way in Haaland and in the Dortmund too. So Sancho is very vital in that position we can utilize. But talking about just one point to add, Devin bhai, sorry to extending to what Abhishar bhai said, that Elanga lacks physicality. He gets predicted very early, and he can be good in when you throw balls and you long balls. Okay, he can be there, but he gets predicted very early and he lacks physicality. So
Abhijit, Elanga got run when he was not ready. Okay, and under RR he got that run. Under RAF he got the run. He was not ready. I think he is in better shape physically and mentally now than he was then when he got the run.
A good loan spell, or even a good transfer for Elanga can do wonders. The player doesn't lack that much that we are criticizing him for, but I think so Elanga is a player that can pinch us if in the future, and I want him to pinch us because I don't want a player from Manchester United to go down the drain.
Go down for all players, no matter what, even if they don't work out for us, I think they should be Andreas Pereira or some other team. They should be first name on the starting 11 anywhere they go. I just wish it for
but
Delvin brother, if we sell him, we have a good chance of buying someone. That is only the positive. That is the only positive.
Yes, correct.
But
and also it helps us balance our books also. Especially with FFP keeping a close eye on us. So It
I
would help.
don't think so. United is needing. But
307 million in transfer payments that we have to make, Abhishek, by 307
that
million.
is
Yes.
So
that is
that
due to that is due to owners' incapabilities. I'm not saying about this thing.
Everything is due to
Owners.
owners'
we
incapability.
we haven't paid Mourinho's payoff. It's still pending. He's still gaining still, and one fact is that it has also interest on that payoff. Interest पे interest है.
Yeah, so this is something that we can discuss on another day. We've discussed everything there is to discuss, but we have three important fixtures at the start of this month, which could very well go a long way in deciding how the month will pan out as far as February is concerned. So we have the second leg of the Carabao Cup against Nottingham. We have a home game against Crystal Palace, and we have all right, so we are playing both our Premier League games at home, Crystal Palace and Leeds. All three games actually, even the Carabao Cup is at home. Gentlemen, what are your predictions? I know we will be discussing about each game as it comes, but what do you think? Do we start the week? Do we start the month of February with 3 straight wins, or what exactly is your prediction? Abhishar bhai, I'll take it from you.
I want United to steamroll these fixtures, and that will give us. I would say that rather give time to Ericsson to recover. Do not rush him because all three games, maybe if they will go neck to neck, we might edge out. Okay, we might get better of the opponents being at Old Trafford. So that I do not want ETH to rush Ericsson. That is the first thing. And second thing, with our overall squad readiness and having Casemiro back, that will I believe that we should be winning three games on and even reading draw I would take. It is at old sorry reading draw I'm saying the Nottingham Forest the Carabao Cup draw I'll take. Even I'll take a win only just because of our sake of having the continuity of Old Trafford, the record that we are maintaining. But if you will give me out of three matches, Abhichar, you need to take one draw. I'll take it at the this thing Nottingham Forest game. Having 1-1 or 2-2 draw, and rest two, I think we should go ahead and win it.
Or just by your predictions for these three games?
Yeah, this three-way was not good the last time, or whatever it was, and I think so when the continuous games that we are playing, if there is some sort of momentum that we need for the Barca game, we have to just dominate the games at home. I don't know if the first leg is at Camp Nou, right? It's at the Camp Nou. Very important to dominate the games that we have at home. I would not even go. I agree what Abhishek Bhai is saying. If I want to take a draw, I will take it. I just want us to sail through. I just want us to sail through, and whatever I will predict right now is United just sailing through these fixtures for me. I'm not going to predict scores because these you guys
No,
will
I'm
be
not.
doing it.
I'm not asking for scores. I'm just asking
Yeah, you guys
overall
will be
prediction.
doing
Yeah.
it before the match also. I think we will be sailing. We should sail through. We should sail through.
Abhijit, bhai, your predictions for these three games?
I would say 3 straight wins for United. Uh, Given the fact that Eric Ten Hag will rotate the squad in not League Cup fixture, and both the home games that are Premier League, that will be a crucial for us. That will provide us whatever the way we will sail. Until to Barcelona, we should we face 16. We should rotate the squad, and try to get some pivotal players to get rest and be ready for that Camp Nou fixture.
All right, with that, we come to an end with this stream. Ojas bhai, Abhijit bhai, Abhishar bhai, great discussion, some very insightful talks, some very great analysis. And overall, it was very intellectual to speak. Enjoyed having this discussion. Thank you so much to everyone in the chat for putting in their 2 cents as well. It was good to hear from you. Good to be interactive as well. Do like, share, and subscribe. We are rolling out content on a much more consistent basis. And if you want to be a part of the panel as well, you can always feel free to. We do this on a regular basis now, and we would want as many people to join in as possible so that we make this more interactive and we can hear your side of the story as well. Apart from our YouTube, do follow us on our Instagram and our Twitter. We are active there as well. So do drop in a follow. Do show us love there as well. I say this on every stream. I will say this today as well. Every day is match day on our official WhatsApp group. You do not want to miss a chance to be part of that. So do hop in and do make yourself at home. You will enjoy the atmosphere in and around the group. And there's also a website where you can go ahead and check out everything there is to make it an immersive fan experience. With this is Delvin along with Ojas Bhai, Abhijit Bhai, and Abhishar Bhai wishing all of you good night. Do take care of yourself. I will see you soon. And like Mojo sir said, we better win the second leg of the Carabao. Yes,
It is
definitely.
not compensating onto anything.
Yes, no, we better win. Yeah, no draws for Mojo sir. Yes, Mojo sir. The hope is that we win all the three fixtures to define the month of February. Till then, it's goodbye, good night, and till next time, we'll see you soon. Take care of yourself. Bye bye.
Glory, glory.